How's it going, everyone? Thank you for joining Shop Talk Live. My name is Rick Ramirez, also known as Ricks2Cents, along with my fellow co-host, Steve from Steve Makes Everything.
Howdy, y'all.
So we got a decent amount of people ready to live. Thank you for letting us know where you're checking in from. Appreciate it. See, Chris said, good day from Per Down Other. Hello. Yeah, Steve.
I was telling Chris I heard an Australian term the other day.
All right, so you got to share now. What's this?
It's actually the one above that somewhere.
Okay, so
yeah, I learned this term bogan. It's an Australian term.
So what does it mean?
It's basically like a redneck.
Okay.
The American equivalent of a redneck, I guess.
There you go. That's hilarious. I think it's funny. I know we don't like to talk politics sometimes, but Steve, I shared a video with you that was geared towards Canada to the United States, a country song. I thought it was hilarious. But
yeah, I haven't watched it yet. I saw it there, but
if you have not watched it, Steve, you gotta watch it. That's part of the reason me bringing it up is I thought you had watched it already. But so I just want to share something since we don't get crazy into politics. We have a global audience, right? So UK, Australia, Hawaii, Canada, United States, a global, literally. And this is not like a fluke. It's like a consistent audience from these. So you don't have to send me the bashing YouTube videos. Not all Americans are Trump fans. Just saying. So I appreciate the laughs. That's why
I did like how you singled out Hawaii as an international center.
I know they're part of they're considered a state, but it's like Texas, right? They're like they kind of consider themselves, right?
Yeah. Now you see, if we were going to annex a piece of the U.S., that would be the one to take.
Right.
It's nice weather and
yeah. So I just wanted to put it out there because lately I've been getting just flooded with these inbox things about Trump. So if you're sending it to me for a good laugh, mission accomplished. But if you're sending it to me because you think I'm gonna be offended, you failed. But yeah. So otherwise, if you think it's just something you want to send me funny, keep them coming because it definitely had me laughing. Chris said, "Oh yeah, I think it's a pretty reasonable for a politician somewhere near you." I guess for the term, it's a reasonable description. Hilarious.
It was just actually like an economist guy who was talking about global economy.
All right. Hey, Sean, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you joining the live.
Sorry about that. I was having mic troubles.
No problem.
All right.
Yeah. So to some people in the audience, you may not need an introduction, but to others, you do. Sean, do you mind just giving yourself a quick introduction and let us know who you are? And
yeah, sure.
What you do?
My name's Sean. I'm from Austin, Texas. I own SJG Print Design. I've also owned Patch It Up Pro. I've been doing just kind of maker print shop stuff for probably close to like 10 years. And so like I kind of developed a lot of these processes that we use or we saw that weren't, good for other people or good for the print shop flow. So we're just trying to always improve them however we can. And so that's kind of what I do now, is just kind of work, make workflows for print shops and, makers in general.
Nice. So what kind of equipment do you run on a daily basis, or what kind of equipment you have in your shop?
That's about it. Oh no. Where's my sound?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
No, I'm asking him.
I lost my sound just a second.
What happened?
Yeah. We'll give him a second. He's having some technical issues. Let's see. We'll go back here to the comments.
I see they finally changed in StreamYard. When you highlight a comment, it goes gray after that, right?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, so
How hard was that to put into the tool so you could see which ones you've read?
Yeah, because you'd be scrolling, and see where was I last, right? Now, so that's very cool to add that. Tony said, "Good day, all." Hey, Chris. It looks like Sean's back.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
No
I don't know
problem.
what happened. It like jumped screens and then just kicked me, just dropped my sound.
So I was asking. I said, so what kind of equipment are you using on a day-to-day basis, or what kind of equipment do you have in your shop there?
We have like a UV DTF printer, flatbed UV. There's a rolling wide format behind me. Bamboo Labs 3D printer. Basically some Graphtec cutter, a little bit of everything, laminator, fiber laser, and Thunderbolt.
So what did you start the addiction with?
Something I don't have anymore, but it was just like a little old, actually, I think it was actually a printer we converted, for DTF, and
Okay.
it was a crazy process. And I was like, this is stupid, that we were having to like put the, do the whole thing, print it,
Handshake it.
go the whole shake it, lay it over here, and the prints weren't the greatest or anything like that because stuff wasn't really developed by then. Right. And then we just kind of like, I don't know, I kind of got forced into it in a real way. I just kind of fell in my lap because I had a partner that did it, and we had a big fallout because he wasn't really the greatest person, but he was pushing print shop. And at the time I owned a smoke shop. And so we were doing the print shop in the back of it. And he wanted a new place because he said it was too busy at the smoke shop, too many people around, which I understand now. And so I moved it to another location, and then we kind of started there, and he was supposed to run it and kind of just fell off. And then we just kind of picked it up and ran with it.
So there's an old saying, sometimes you have to sink or swim, right? It seems like that's kind of what happened to you, right? It just
that's basically what happened. I mean, I had bulldogs too, and so like I'd go show them and stuff, and we would get a lot of like figure out that people need merch in the world, and so we just started kind of like Printful at first and kind of like just getting stuff over here for these people, getting this, and it was like, man, we probably make a business out of this. And then it all kind of fell in right at that time, and so that's why I was more willing to do it.
Nice
Cool.
Well, that's very cool. Well, I think you'll fit in well here because it's we say all the time we're yes, we're in the maker's place, we're in the entrepreneur space, but it's not just laser engraving. It's just not CNCs. It's just not 3D printing. It's just not DTF. It's just not apparel. It's kind of like as a whole. And what's cool about this group is that collectively, when you start adding the years of experience, it adds up to a lot of knowledge in one room. So people can ask all different kinds of things. And of course, you always say when someone sees something that you do, they have to understand it's either two things. Either you're independently wealthy and you just decided that, hey, I'm going to spend $500,000 and buy this equipment, or you had a lot of blood, sweat, and tears along the way. And most of the time it's blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah, so it's possible to have both.
Yeah, it is possible to have both. Yeah.
That's mine for sure. I had the blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah,
so I'm still dealing with stuff, on the regular. Sorry.
I guess it's also possible to have neither.
Yeah. So it's nice to be able to share that experience and have that knowledge because, they say fall forward, right? So you can share experiences you had and shortcomings you had, or we call them fails. We share fails as well. That's something that kind of keeps people going because with the magic of YouTube, as Steve says, where's the easy button, right? Everything always looks perfect.
Yeah. There's so much stuff we mess up all the time. I get very upset when we do, but then it's like we had to learn how to do it somehow.
Yep. Yeah. So
a lot of times the only way you're gonna learn is if you just get in there and click it, do stuff, just learn on your own and figure it out. You can watch as many tutorials as you want, but it could be an update since that tutorial, something else could completely change, so it's not there. So you just need to really just kind of stay in tune with what you're doing at all times.
Yeah, if anything, you try it, and if it fails, then you know what to look for in a video when you're on YouTube, right?
Yep. Then you make a video on it and put it on YouTube.
Agreed.
Yeah, and if there isn't one, that's what you do. Yeah.
There you go.
I was finally catching up on CNC stuff, and I did a couple of projects today or yesterday. These little boxes that I make for Dungeons and Dragons players, and I did one and I pulled it off, and I realized that the end of it had a crack in it.
No.
Just check in the wood, I guess. And I was like, damn it, throw that one aside, do another one. And while I was doing that one, it decided it was going to lift off the table. So then now I've got 4 pieces of box that are crap. And I have this much wood left to make it. So I finally got it running today. But
You know, it's funny, Sean, when you mentioned the DTF and the DTG first starting out, it kind of reminded me when I was first starting doing that as well. And you're right. It's funny to watch somebody now who just starts in a DTF or DTG environment, and they're like, air quotes, the experts.
Yeah.
And it's like, bruh, you have no idea how bad the struggle
You mean
is.
nights I've traded off learning, and I'll just call it learning.
Yeah.
It wasn't fun, but at the time it was very stressful. But now, we know how to kind of address certain things.
Yeah. So early on, I was kind of. Go ahead.
Today, Rick, it's not like it was in the in the good old days, right? Like I was using this 01 today, and well, this all this week, and it's literally you put a T-shirt on and you push the start button, right? Like I don't have to think about anything, right?
Yeah,
it's just there.
No, I saw you were friends with Dennis Moon, and I Dennis has helped me a lot early in the stages. He was phenomenal.
He's great. I didn't even buy a printer from him, but like I'm a lifetime customer for his film and his ink and everything like that. It's very, very good. That's what makes our transfer stand out from so many other people's. Is literally Dennis Moon.
Yeah, Dennis Moon's phenomenal. I remember early on when it first came out, they're like, people were like, here, try this ink, and it was kind of like you were the beta tester, and it was like, hey, you just ruined my print head.
Yep.
Thanks, it doesn't work. You know what I mean?
You can't jump around inks either. That's what a lot of people don't realize. It's like, find one. If it works, stick with it. Like don't switch to another one, not even in like a bad moment. Like just find it, get it.
It's the thing I warn people about all the time, because like you guys worked on kind of semi-commercial and commercial machines, but new people are working on things like the Eufimake E1, which is a hobby machine. And I see Big Sarge is on here. He's the next comment, but they're looking for the cheapest ink possible, right? And the problem is, if tomorrow there's an even cheaper ink and you switch, God knows what happens, right? Like changing inks is a bit of a rude experience for a printhead, right? So
Jack in the shop say, hey, and Big Sarge said hello from May.
Hey, Big Sarge.
Yeah, no, Dennis is the beast. We've actually talked about having him on the podcast. So talked to him maybe about a month and a half ago. So maybe he'll be able to join us and shed some light on these changes, because man, the market has changed so drastically. It's insane. Yeah.
For the person in the comments, there was someone asking about the polyester thing. Just use those like Teflon sheets. Like I can't think what they're called, but they're like Teflon sheets. You can get them on Amazon.
Yeah,
and,
that's what I use.
Yeah, and that's all you need for really everything. So,
Sorry,
I didn't interrupt you. I just saw that in the comments.
No, for sure. We just kind of go through them as they come. Steve pointed out on the right there, it's nice now that, so for the subscribers who are watching us, you may be watching from Facebook, you may be watching from Twitch, you may be watching from YouTube, wherever it may be. It puts all the comments all in one section. And if we unclick something, it was sometimes hard to kind of scroll back and find the last comment, especially as they start pouring in through the live.
Yeah.
So it's nice that they're actually highlighted. We can find that easily. So Red Dewey can't get mad at me and say, you skipped my dad joke.
No, he'll get mad at you for calling him Red Dewey, but he won't get mad for skipping his dad joke. Hey, Santa.
Let's see here. Razor Ray said hello from Central Wisconsin. Hello. Thank you for checking in. So let me ask you a question. So, Sean, is most of your business to business, or do you do like a retail business as well, like selling, your own merch or selling your own stuff?
We deal with a lot of people that it's usually business to business, or like small businesses, people trying to start something up, or the occasional one-offs where they come in, they want something just random. That's really it. And we kind of pick and choose on those ones. It depends also on the person, you know, because we do have a heart. So like when we see someone like trying to do it, we know that they can't get it from somewhere else. Like, you know, we took on a project we probably shouldn't have, you know, just today because the people were just so nice. But it was just like some leatherette cut out and everything like that, but put on like a jean jacket, but they wanted it a very specific way and everything. And then we had printer issues, and it's just like, you know, that's kind of why I told them, was like, let's offer the stuff that we know we're confident in, always like, you know, pushing out. And then there's other stuff we have, let's, you know, make sure we're 100% good. And then we may push it more, but let's not take on these crazy custom jobs that cost me money to do.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, we're fixing that. It happens.
Yeah. Rule number one is generally you supply the material, right?
Yeah.
So one other thing is I always say is that when you start off with those mom and pops, when you know you give them a break or you help them along the way, those are the customers that good luck stealing. Like it'll never happen. You know, like at some point in time you could not be the cheapest guy in the block, and that person remembers that, and that loyalty stays 10, 15 years later. That's a customer that's purchasing for you on a regular basis. You know,
what you get from the mom and pops is just the referrals. Because, you know, they have the friends they're going to tell you about that are just like so good, like, oh, they did me so well, blah, blah, blah. And their friend might have, you know, a legit business that they need stuff like, oh, I'll go over there. That's usually how it happens for us.
Yep.
You just kind of judge on like what it is. But I mean, these people, they were on Shark Tank. You know, we're in Austin, so there's all kinds of like tech companies and random startups. And these people are like popsicles, but they were on Shark Tank and about to go to some big party.
Nice.
It didn't have the jackets, went and bought these $300 jackets, brought them back. And, you know, we had issues and it just was a headache. What we figured out what the issues were today in the end, because the cuts were off. But my employee, which, you know, he give him a break. He was an electrician a year ago, didn't do nothing about even sending an email, you know? Yeah. And so the past year we've been training him. He's really good in here, but there's certain things he runs by a little too quick or whatever. When he was doing the print and cut is what we figured out today, is he wasn't resetting it, you know, to like do it again on the next one, so that and then everything was off and he was mad. And I was like, dude, you got to do it's usually 90%, you know, of the time when there's a problem, it's user error.
You got to watch the electricians though. They're pretty bad.
Yeah. And he's nice to have around here when something breaks. I'll say that much, because he'll unwire it, wire it back up, figure it out, you know, run a dedicated breaker to it, everything.
I'm saying that, Sean, because I'm a IBW lineman.
Oh yeah, that's funny. You know,
I know. So
I mean, he's straight blue collar for sure.
So I'm a wire nut guy who, you know, who got into I don't even know what you want to call. We do a little of everything, right?
Yeah, he kind of does a little of everything too. But he's one of those people that just like, he's kind of like me, just like annoyingly good at things you try to do. And so he came in here and, you know, we go back and forth. He'll get all confident, and then something will break, and I'll walk over there and literally just touch the mouse, and it'll start working. And like, dude, I just don't get it, you know. And I'm like, slow down, like, you know, slow down and like read everything, make sure it's all set up. It's not always going to save exactly how you want every single time.
Yeah, you know, I was for the first time on this little Roland behind me, I was printing posters, and it was doing the peripheral cuts, and for whatever reason, it was cutting the backside first instead of the front side, the end roll. So when it was pulling it back in, it was actually unperforating it and then hitting, it's going to cause a print head collision, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, why is it reversing the way it cuts it out? And I just kept beating my head against the wall. And I said, you know, who cares? So I just changed the parameters of the perforation cuts.
Yeah.
So that way that it wouldn't fall out. But for like 45 minutes, I was trying to reverse the order, and I'm like, sometimes you just got to step back and just like.
Me learning how to do all the cuts and everything the way that we need to do them in here was probably a good 6 months, a year, even longer, you know, whole ordeal. So I used to send the cut files off to my designer to put, or the images for stickers off to my designer to put the cut files on. You know, this is a few years ago, and then wait a few days, get them back. Hopefully they were right. And then cut it, and then go through, all the settings you have to go through and learn what, the difference between perf, cut contour, and cut contour. And then, you have to capitalize those C's every time. You know what I mean? Like just stuff like that. It's not a fun learning process whenever you're in it, but after you do appreciate it.
Absolutely. Big Sarge said, I ran into a Nova Scotian redneck today. He thought he shared my lane as he passed. Is this Norm in Nova Scotia?
So Big Sarge, that was probably Tim.
That's hilarious.
Drivers here are a little odd sometimes, but in general, they're not terrible. They just do some dumb things sometimes.
Jack in the Shot said, I like Steve's shirt. Just make something. Does not have to be good at something.
DTF, it's at its finest. My favorite shirt is Maker in Training, actually, because I would consider, if I ever consider myself an expert at anything, I'm probably doomed.
All right, so it looks like Sean already has one of our regulars already know who he is. Big Sarge said, thanks for hanging out and bringing us the insight, Sean.
Yeah, sure, no problem. That's kind of like what I try to do, that because like I was saying, I have Patch It Up Pro, and I sell a bunch of different tech services and software and stuff like that, and I just try to give people value. So like, if you just want to follow my Facebook, literally, I'll tell you whatever you want to know if you ask questions.
I think what's crazy is that as a content creator, I do different type of things like woodworking, laser engraving, apparel. Those are kind of my 3 different areas that I personally do. But as online as social media, man, the woodworking group is pretty they're pretty rough. I'll tell you, they will when I first started posting laser videos in woodworking groups, because I was doing woodworking with lasers, I was attacked. I was not a warm welcoming, but the apparel industry, the print industry, they seem to be a little more welcoming, I would say. Yeah.
I get attacked for AI stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like crazy. I really don't care. I mean, I literally, my whole shop almost runs on it. I'm like creating a centralized bot where it's done. I just need to hook it up now, but where I could tell it to it tells us our day, who needs to be doing what at what time. It's basically the manager. It has a whole dashboard, and it's Chong, our chameleon, but it'll list all the jobs, ask like where you're at with what, keep kind of Blake on point with what he needs to be doing, and then you can talk to it. It learns, put stuff in the back end, and so it'll move when files come in, it'll pull the the file, put a TIFF in there, and go put it on main top. So all he has to do is go print it.
Nice.
So I get attacked for it, and people are like, you don't know shit, you're not creative. I was like, that's funny. Like y'all should see what I'm literally making real robots, that move and talk to you and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm kind of headed that way too. Not so much for video content or anything, but I don't have an office manager. My wife won't retire and take up the job, and she wouldn't want to work for me anyway. So I'm basically building an office manager that looks after things, because I don't know what you guys are like, but I get at least 100 things from people looking for collaborations and reviews and things every day.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't care about half of them. So I just have a screener.
AI on Facebook, you can enable that feature now where you want it to basically detect or say that it's AI. And I turned it on. I don't care. And kind of what you said, Sean, is that I use AI a lot to create artwork, right? So if I didn't create that thumbnail, if I didn't create that whatever, I let it deem an AI. But I've had people attack me too, and they're like, you're not even writing these. This is AI. I'm like, no, I literally wrote it. It's not a bot who's posting for me. That's me. That's really what I wrote. But it created the image. Like I created.
You can type something in and say enhanced AI, and it'll retype it for you. You know what I mean? Right. So you can half-ass type a message that doesn't make any sense, and it's going to correct it. And then, but the thought process is there. Right. Like, that's how I was thinking. That's what I was feeling. Like, why does it matter? Like, how it came out.
Right. Yeah. Right. The struggle is people can't separate the process of managing the thing from the thing, right? From the creative aspect of it. This is the whole argument of whether CNCs are woodworking tools too, right? There's a creative function that happens. And if you're not using a CNC, it happens when you're working with the wood. If you're using a CNC, it happens upstream, right? And by the time you get to working with the wood, you already know what it's going to look like. And that's the thing I think people struggle with.
I just, when I first got those Meta glasses, right? I stuck those on and was like, this is going to be the future. Like, it's just insane. Like, I'm looking at a high-rise building and saying, what is this? You know,
Yeah.
oh, this is the Sears Tower. It was made in such and such. It's this many floors, blah, blah, blah. You know, take a picture of what I'm looking at. Take a video of what I'm looking at, you know. And I just think that AI is going to become, like, you think 2 generations from now?
Which is really a week from now, right?
You know, like, just the AI features, the AI thing, how it's going to be so involved. I mean, I think just my new dryer has AI. You know what I mean? Like, I put clothes in there. It turns on. It says detecting fabric. It knows what kind of, it knows their jeans. You know, and then it says it automatically adjusts the temperature. It automatically adjusts the time as it's drying. And it's not like a normal dryer that says, you know, 45 minutes. And then it'll say too much humidity, and it'll shoot the water out. It has like you got to have a catch basin almost like, and then or do the opposite and ingest water and steam it. But it's just like, this is a dryer with AI that's doing this. Like,
yeah, well, I don't know about a dryer. That just seems to be an excuse to put AI in something. But you know, I think it's a tool, right? Like anything else. And you know, some people rely on it maybe too much, and some people who happily plead ignorance of AI are going to get eaten alive at some point. But somewhere in the middle is the right answer.
It still needs the human touch and the human like operator to make it work. So like, you know, you can't say it's just your
for now.
You still have to think, you know, for the most part. You know, like I say, it's you got to become the operator of AI.
Now, I did have somebody complain. I did a video. I don't know. I printed a UV printed a sign, and somebody complained that I didn't give some other content creator credit for the sign. And I went, "What the hell are you talking about? I built this in Chat GPT." And not only that, it's a sign that's been around on farms for like 100 years, right? It's not new. Yeah. And it was like, okay, like, you know, give credit where credit's due. This was AI. I can send you the prompt if you want to generate one yourself, right? It's not that hard.
So I know, like in the Chicagoland area, there's Ford plants here, right? So Ford laid off like hundreds of employees, thought they're going to use all these AI robots. They did well. And then, you know, 200,000, whatever, I may be exaggerating the number, but there's a huge recall on trucks. There was an issue. And all of a sudden, lo and behold, all those union jobs are back, and they're bringing people back. So I do understand that there's an infinite knowledge, like, to mechanical things, you know, that when something goes wrong, a human be able to detect it, human be able to do different, you know, welding, whatever it may be. But I think that there's things that are just busy work, you know, things that are just bogging you down to do things you could use your time more usefully. That's, I think, when AI is going to be, you know, a great tool. You know,
I actually have a robot coming, like a full scale robot. It's called like a Neo, and it comes in and does everything you want it to do. I pre-ordered one like a year ago.
Does it make you sandwich?
Yeah, if you wanted to.
Oh man,
I'm telling you, look it up. It's called Neo. Watch the videos, and you'll be like, "Holy crap!"
I know the one. It's one of the ones that
it's probably the better ones that's out there for sure.
The company that makes it approached me, and I was thinking about it. There was 2 of them actually. There was the one that was like a little robot dog, and then there was that one.
Yeah.
And both times my wife said no.
And it's just they're taking the route of like the first robots that live in home with you instead of going corporate, because corporate things are just really, like you were saying, really easy. Just take it over here, go put it over here, pick this, take it over here. These things are meant to like interact with you and actually do things. And, you know, like literally on the video, you know, the guy's asking, you know, the robot, he's like, Neo, what is this? I lost my glasses. Is this cayenne pepper or something? And then he goes, no, it's this, you know, and then it's like, hey, and your glasses are on your neck. You know what I mean? And then, you know, like, it's just stuff like that. But they're kind of going the home route. So we ordered one for just to have at the print shop.
If you don't mind me asking,
I went to fresh shirts, $20,000, but I didn't pay that. I paid, there's a lease to own type thing.
Okay.
Or whatever, a rent thing, you know, I don't really know those things. It was $500 a month, and you paid like a few hundred down to get in the pre-order. And so $500 a month, I was like, that's a bad employee. It's less than a bad employee. You know, like if I could just get him to sweep, you know, and literally press shirts, if I could, you can take like have someone chime in and show them what to do, and they'll learn how to do those motions and everything like that, so that it can actually like learn things that you need it to do.
This is amazing, Sean. I definitely.
We're gonna put all kinds of content with it. We're gonna like swag it out, put DTF on it, and like you know, have it like one of our little buds in here, but like just working all the time. But we're gonna leave it in the print shop and just let it do things at night, cleaning and, you know, stuff that we don't really get to.
That's
we'll test the limits with it once it's here.
You know, and the thing is that, like I said, I think this is really going to become something that's just the future. And I think that if you don't adapt at some points, you know, I get like an artist, right? Artists may hate AI because when my daughter wanted to go to school for graphic design, she completely changed her degree because, you know, I was like, hey, by the time you graduate, like that might not be relevant.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's happening already, right?
So yeah, so now she's going to become an art therapist for, you know, kids who suffer drama. You know, like they can use art as a therapy to exit things or feelings, whatever. You know, but still staking in that, but then not taking out the ability not to be able to take out the person. You know, with the therapist, the one-on-one. You know that. So, but AI is insane. AI is insane.
I that's basically what I do all day. If people really want to know, like I don't do a lot of the maker stuff as much. Like I sit here right here. I have like a computer or screen up here, here, and here, another computer right here, a big like touch screen monitor here, and then I just play with AI all day. Like, but like I'm doing things. I say play with AI, but like I'm actually like building workflows and like doing a bunch of stuff for makers, like building stuff just for makers. That's it. But that's literally my job. And then Blake runs all this throughout the day, and I just, when he gets stuck, he comes and grabs me. I'm a really good problem solver, so we just fix it real quick. But the crazy part is, when we're having issues, a lot of times that, you know, with how AI is now, you have agents on your actual computer. Like if you put the desktop app, you can tell it to go in there and fix all your settings, and it'll go in there and fix everything for you. It'll take control of your computer and do everything for you. And we've been just doing that lately, and it's been literally fixing everything we have a problem with.
Insane.
Stuff that we would normally like, I'd be like, what'd you click? He'd be like, I don't know. I moved stuff around trying to adjust it, and I don't know where the starting point was. You know, and then we tell the, you know, ChatGPT operator, whatever, and then, you know, like, hey, go fix this. That's the issue we're having. It's like, okay, do you mind if I take control of your computer? Click. You start seeing the mouse move around. It's clicking, moving things, doing stuff. And then it's like, okay, try this. And it's like, print's perfect. So,
insane.
You really don't need anyone to like, you know, do a lot of that stuff. Like you can set up settings on software, like backends. You can set up your accounts on things. So all that stuff, like anything I don't want to do, I just basically tell it, you know, it knows enough about me because I programmed it that I can literally tell, like fill this out, and it's fills out my whole sheet. You know, I had it send out a crap load of cold emails from my personal email, and it sent out probably 2,000 of them to just different places to like work with and stuff. And I mean, building out full CRMs, it's not as easy as people think because it is time consuming. Because you sit here, you put your prompt in for something, and then like, okay, let me work on it. So you're just like, you know, like, what do I do for a little while, you know? And usually I will go make something or do something, you know, because I am like a builder and creator. I like to do that. Someone asked in the comments actually a second ago, like, what's my favorite thing to make? And it's just kind of like really anything that I'm not doing for a client. Like, you know, if I'm in here just making something for fun or for a family member or, you know, somewhere I'm going, I like doing that stuff. Anything for a client, I hate doing. I'm gonna be honest. Like, and that's why I hired Blake. And then on the other part of that, what's your least favorite aspect of being a maker? Customers. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'd rather not deal with customers and just make stuff all day long and, you know, just showcase it and, you know, sell stuff with e-com if anything, but more where you're in control of it, so you can like set stock levels and stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't like dealing. Me or my wife do not like dealing with like the customers. Like when they come in, we're both just like, I'm very direct, but I'm not like, I don't like confrontation, and customers always kind of seem like they want to bring confrontation. And so like, I can handle it in the moment, but I don't like it. And I don't want to deal with it. That's not my job, you know? So, you know, we had someone for it and then they left for a better job. And so she's been doing it, but it's not as bad because we kind of like redirected where we're moving our business, and it's a lot of businesses and stuff that they're just like, okay, we need this, so many of this and this and this. Okay, and they're not going to come in and nitpick it like this is messed up right here. This is done this. Why is this? When a smaller person would that paid less.
Yeah, absolutely. Business to business, they kind of just want a bulk order and get it done.
Yeah, they just want their people wearing their logos.
Right.
That's all they care about.
The two-shirt guy.
And that's another thing I get on in arguments online with people about, with these designers. They're like, you don't know shit about art, blah, 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 and I'm like, you don't know nothing about the customers, because like in the end, half the customers that are spending money they don't care about that super, super creative stuff that whatever. They just want something that looks cool, went on the shirt for them, it represents their brand and you're done, or the flip side, they bring you something with AI. They didn't know how to get it, into a physical being where they can hold it and feel it, and you make it for them, and yes, it was AI, but you cleaned it up in Photoshop or used your AI tools. You give it back to them. Why is that wrong? You know what I mean? Like they were the customer. That's what they asked for, like we just cleaned it up, so, and I don't think, and then just how happy those people get once you do it, that's really why we got in this business. Just like, that, and we were breeding bulldogs because of just the fulfillment side of it, like giving it to someone and like seeing them just light up, and like, I mean, I gave puppies to kids on Christmas, I walked in and surprised my niece with a puppy, a nice bulldog. And so it's a good feeling. And so like, that's kind of what we enjoyed and why we got into this and started doing it more. But then also that feeling kind of bit us in the ass several times too, because
I have the same kind of response as you have. Customers are difficult, right?
Yeah.
I
love people. Don't get me wrong.
I don't have walk-in trade. Almost every customer I have is somewhere else in the world, which is a good place to have them, right? So, you can get on a call or whatever, right? But the thing is the same, right? Like I don't do like make a million of something. I make typically one of something because it's a lot of like engineering consulting kind of stuff. So, but at the same time, you make something and they go, well, that's not what I wanted. Yes, it is. You wrote it right here.
Yep. This is the mock-up. This is this.
If you don't want it now, you're paying for that one and the new one that you want. So
that's the reason why I also did like the whole Patched Up Pro thing. We kind of went away from patches and more just like a whole shop CRM, is because I've used all these other ones like Deco Network, everything, to try to manage. They're all expensive for one, but then none of them did what I wanted it to do, and caught stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like the whole mock-up. And so like now we got a whole system. It's like, hey, yes, you did. It's right here, right here, right here. You approved it.
Yeah. The trick to making customers happy is to nail them down at the beginning and say, tell me exactly what you want. And it can be a bullet item list. I don't care.
Right.
Yeah. So we run like a crew ready ad is what we call it. It's $150. And, we target businesses in like the Central Texas area. And, what it is, basically them paying for one mock-up and like one actual, shirt, hat, you know what I mean? But it's all the design time involved. It's all the back and forth involved. They lock that in with us. And now we can reproduce, anytime they need it. It's just like, hey, I need 10 smalls with large, but it's really like, a lead magnet to get other businesses just to, come in. But it's a free $150, to be honest, for the most part. Right. But, outside of the time, but that's kind of what we started doing, in that avenue, just to get the better leads. So it is the customers we want is, running those type of ads, and just like pay us up front for the design time and, lock us in for next time.
And design time is one of the things customers struggle with, right? It's like they say, well, I told you exactly what I wanted. Why do I have to design anything? And it's like,
I argue with my wife all the time about that, because she'll say, hey, somebody on Facebook said they wanted this, how much to do it, and they'll have some crude napkin type drawing or something they create an ad that's like crap. I'm like, dude, man, that is like a 72 DPI image. Like that is not gonna work. Like tell them $65 and to regenerate the artwork and redo the artwork and prep the artwork. She's like, they're not gonna pay $65 to their artwork. I'm like, then I don't even want to do the job.
Yeah.
So she's like, nobody charges for artwork. I'm like, every person that I deal with, unless it's a big ass order, kind of like what you're saying, Sean, with the whole $150.
Yeah,
I hit 'em with
sometimes
the-
they don't even have to come back to us. That paid for our time, and honestly, if they buy that, it pays for the ad spend. So like, you know, that's the goal of doing that, is making your ad just pay for the ad spend. And if you sell, like, say you're running a $50 campaign a day on that, and you sell 3 of those, like you made money on your ad spend.
Yeah.
So like, and it happens, you know, these businesses actually do lock that stuff in. You just got to kind of go at it from a different angle.
Yep. Jack in the shop said, I'm cutting 16-inch gauge steel with the fiber laser now. Just finished 2 set of slate coasters. Getting it done, man. Getting it done.
16 gauge steel. What fiber laser do you have?
I'm assuming 200 watts.
Yeah, I have a metal fab. I've been meaning to do some videos, but man, it's just been insane this year. I was kind of thinking 2026 would be a quiet year. I can't get into my shop anymore. There's too many boxes.
Big Sarge said, I just started my addiction some 15 years ago with a MakerBot that cost me crazy money for like a 5x9x9 build volume. I'm estimating that an old man's memory. Yeah,
I remember the MakerBots. Yeah,
you know, that's a
they
fact.
actually just disappeared like last year or a year and a half ago.
Yeah, Jack and Shop said it's a maker shop where you just happen to have all these cool tools. Very cool.
Yeah,
That's kind of what our place is transitioning to, is just like a maker shop where we're going to start live streaming. I have all these cameras hooked up everywhere. So we're just going to start streaming and doing more content and just make it our shop and kind of pick and choose the business we want. Because
I don't have fancy cameras like Steve does, but I don't do OnlyFans either. So, you know,
in here, I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 4 or 5, and then I have cameras we put inside machines. And then I have, you know, I have another thing I do is I do NTV shops, which is like these shops episodes where we go out to shops and do a whole like tour, kind of like MTV crib style, but of different people's shops.
Nice.
And I have my partner on that's Envision Films. That's why it's NTV, but it's actually about to be it's just kind of confused. Just shops is what we're calling it. But you know, we had it under NTV. But he comes in and we shoot content, you know, once a week, and he's like, you know, a movie producer. And so he actually just sent me a video just now as we were sitting here of what we did on Tuesday. And so we'll start putting out more content. But that's kind of where I want to transition this place to, is just kind of like doing what we want to do every day, not deal with the stress of customers.
Tim said tools. Yeah. Don't you mean toys? Yeah, it starts that way.
Tim is a good customer for a lot of my stuff that I review.
Chris says it's really just meeting room for addicts. Yeah, that's why I said to you, Sean. How did you start the addiction? I think that's, you know, we you always say you start off with one and it just kind of snowballs, right? And then having
it was probably more the print. And then I just got bored with the print. Like it was like, this is just printing all the time, but it was probably just the print side of things.
Yeah.
And then we got into the lasers and the cut and everything like that.
All right.
But my favorite's probably, it's a love-hate with like UV printing, but it's like flatbed printing, but it's either that or like metal laser engraving with a fiber or something like that.
That's cool. Yeah, Radu said, at this point, if a clown invited me to the woods, I'd just go. Oh man, we're at that point in our country that we're just like, fuck it. Jack said, hello, my name is Jack and I have an addiction. Radu, he said, hi, Jack. Yeah. Too funny. Oh yeah, so here's Sean. Sorry, I was catching up in the comments. That was the
it's just those Teflon mats. Like you can get them on Amazon, but they're perfect for DTF.
Yeah, so Tim said, Sean, for 100% polyester sport type uniforms, have you tried using silicone pressed mats? Something like the Ninja cells. Support to help the screen that occurs on the material.
You don't need to go to Ninja. Go to Amazon and get Teflon sheets. That's it.
I laugh because he's been in the industry early on, right? But he was the guy who said, like, first, he's like retract his statement and re-enter his statement. First, you know, hey, if you don't have the capital to purchase equipment, you know, it's better to outsource the prints, right?
Yeah.
And to at least get started. And if you're only making pennies, at least you start getting customers. And as you gain customers, you can purchase equipment. I'm like, I think that's a good practice to preach, right? At least you're starting. It's getting your feet wet. You're in, and if you don't like it, you don't have an equipment investment, right?
Yeah.
Anytime someone asks me, like, what DTF printer do I have, they're thinking about buying. I was like, do you sell DTF prints right now? Like, no, but I think I can. It's like, you should just sell them, outsource them. I'll give you a good price so you can make money and see if you can get it rolling before you invest $20,000 in a machine.
Yes. And the one thing people understand is they can't sit, right? I say that all the time in these lives. People are like, well, I have problems with my print head. They can't sit. They have to be used.
Every day. Literally. If you wait a weekend, sometimes it'll mess it up.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think then he went to pitch of selling the printers. Now he's right back onto, I guess he was like pushing 3 different other brands prints, and now he's pushing his own. So he's, I don't know if he just made a deal with somebody else who's printing them or he's actually printing them himself. I doubt that he's printing them himself, but early on he was printing everything himself before he just decided to farm everything out. But he's been around a while. But he's definitely a salesman. That's for sure. Chris said, I will upcharge, but not change cheaper. I think he's talking about charging the customer for our work. Yeah, you got to charge your time, man.
I've been told they got to keep me away from customers because I tend to just give stuff away. When there's pricing involved, I'm like, I literally have the same thing I'll tell everyone. It's like, no, not to offend you, not you either. It's just like, I'm going to send you straight to this email every time. Like, I don't want to touch it. I don't really want to know about the project. I'll do whatever, because I will be that person that like, hey, can you do this? I'm like, we probably can. I don't keep up with all the pricing day to day. So, I try to stay away from that. But the people, Brittany and all them, they make sure we keep that in place and pricing stays up, the right price or upcharge.
Big Charge said, I found an ink for the E1 that works and half new EFI prices. No chasing ink here.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's no question Eufy makes ink it's like they're not making it, they're buying it from somebody, and it's at least, well, it's cheaper now, but it's still at least 3 times the price of comparable ink. So
is it like cartridges that it takes?
Yeah, but so what Big Sarge did was he built a little modification to allow you to use bottled ink, like to refill the cartridges, and it works, right? Like Eufy Make isn't using commercial ink, right? They're using, they found some supplier and that's what they're using. Most of the prosumer tools are doing the same thing. So
Chris said, show comments. So those that may not be aware, reason Chris is mentioning this is that there's a lot of people who watch our live, of course. There's also a lot of people who don't actually watch the live, they're listening. So, or they're watching on TVs now. We're watching more and more people not watching on a laptop, they're actually watching on TV. So as they see these comments on the screen, all of a sudden they're like, oh, then they're jumping back on their laptop, or they're jumping back on the phone to be able to comment to these comments. So if you're wondering why are we reading the comments, you can see the comments that are shown. Well, the reason we're reading the comments is for the people who are not watching, they're just listening. We want them to be able to participate. So it goes back and forth, right? There's 2 different type of people are watching, and a decent mix of them both. So we try to accommodate them both. So yes, we're aware that you can see the comments, and that's why we're reading them. But yeah.
Boofer says hello.
Let's see here. Chris said woodworking groups are related to 3D printing more compatibly than a community. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, yeah, it's weird. Like, I think what's cool about our Shop Talk Live group is that everyone kind of like shows each other's stuff, and constructive criticism is okay, but there's no bashing, right? No egos that's actually going to get it. And makers will buy for makers. People say, they think that, only a customer's. Well, a maker could be a customer, So
yeah,
don't turn that opportunity either.
We sell more to more makers than anything.
Hey, Jim. Jim says he's late again.
Better late than never. Late than never. Thanks for. Have you ever seen Sean? Have you ever seen Skylar's work?
I have not.
Oh,
I don't know. Maybe.
Talk about welcome to addiction and buying something.
Channels, sawdust and
splinters.
Splinters, yes.
Sawdust and splinters. I'll look it up.
Yeah, she does some real artwork. Actually, if you just look in our Facebook group, you'll see all kinds of her stuff posted there.
She is just insane.
And she's the absolute proof that something like a CNC, I mean, it's not even a case of is it a woodworking tool? It's a tool. And in the hands of somebody who has a creative craft skill, it's an instrument of magic, right? Like she does crazy stuff. It's just, and she would, but she was doing that even before she had a CNC. And
my hand would have saw.
It's really good. I see it.
Yeah. I mean, it's, and then she got a CNC and she waffled a long time. I mean, she's talked to all of us independently, and it was like, oh, I don't know if I can buy a CNC or if I'll use it. And then like within, I don't know, it was like a week of her getting it, all of a sudden this art started coming out, right? And it was...
So Big Sarge said, Sean, I know you mentioned this earlier, but Sean, what is your favorite type of project and why? And what's your least aspect of being a maker? I know you kind of touched on it again. Do you
just the customer side of just the customer side of things, and probably anything. I mean, really, I just like kind of all this stuff. I like whenever I could come in here just with an idea and create it, no matter what it is. If it's on the computer, or if it's on the table or on the printer, on whatever, put them together, try something. I like that aspect of it. I don't really like a specific thing, I would say, because I have ADHD. I'm all over the place, so that's what gets that's what's good for me, basically.
That's not a bad skill actually to have in the maker world, right? Like I'm kind of the same way, but
I do well with it. It's not like it's like cripples me. It's just like I got to keep a few things going on at once, but you know what you got to do in the maker world? Keep a few things going on at once.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't babysit one machine or one piece of equipment.
Yeah.
Jack, and that's the hardest thing to get people to understand, right? Like it's different now than it was even a couple of years ago. Because a couple of years ago, somebody would buy the $99 laser, and that was it, right? And it's like, well, you can't do that anymore. You need the laser, and you need some other tool, and 3 or 4 tools to make anything that anyone's going to care about. And just having a laser and assuming you're going to make millions is just not the right approach.
Jack and the Shots
plan.
Jack and the Shots. The people said the same thing when table saws came out. Using a table saw was not woodworking. Yeah. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, people can say that about my saw stop. They're never getting it back. They're never taking it away from me, right? Like
Tim said, "Wake me up when they make a replicator that can make beer." Beer me, right?
Pretty sure the robot can give you beer.
I tell you what, if I could have a robot that all she did was fold laundry and put it away, I'd buy it.
That's literally why we got it. Like that's what it folds laundry and everything. It does all that.
Yeah.
Go watch the videos when you get a chance. I'm telling you'll be mind blown at like what it can really do. He's seen them, so he knows. It's like
I've seen
folds laundry.
What's the name of this robot again? I'm gonna Google it.
Neo. I think it's like Neo X or something. Or
just search for Neo Robot.
Yeah, just like Neo Robot, you'll find it. And when watch the videos and like, it's real. This isn't just some make believe thing.
Yeah, I'll check it out. That's insane. I could see something like that too as a companion for people, elderly people.
Yeah,
to kind of watch them. I think that would actually be good.
Most of the people on their videos are elderly now that you say that.
Yeah. Not only just for mental health, but also just to keep an eye.
Just like Will Smith's mother in iRobot.
Yeah. The Jetsons are almost here. We're at the cusp of that, like being legit.
The real question isn't whether we'll get there. It's will we be able to control it when we do?
Yeah. Well, Chris said AI needs to show its current accuracy rating. Too many people think it's right away. Yeah. speaking of politics, I have one of my best friends is a big Trumpy, right? And sometimes I post stuff on his Facebook to just poke at him, right? Just two guys like giving each other a hard time. And some of his friends will go ballistic on me because I said certain things. And he's like, hey, man, like, chill. You know what I mean? But I literally have a thread that just says verify. And that's all I use it for. And it will, before I post something online, it will verify and give you the sources like CNN reported, ABC reported. This was on it's going to give you all the sources saying, and even say you should change your statement because some of that is opinion, not facts. But by changing the wording this way, it's all factually supported, right? And so when I post something, then, when it comes to the budget, it's all in dollars and cents. It's all provable, trackable somewhere,
Yeah. So to Chris's point here, back in the good old days, I worked a bit on Watson with IBM, and one of the things it was supposed to be able to do, this is like OpenAI 0.001, right? Like this is so ancient now, but one of the things it was geared to do was to analyze medical records and do diagnostics. And they could never get it approved because it was only like 65% accurate. And the U.S. Medical Association said, no, you can't use this. And the sad thing was, and this gets back to Chris's statement, we assume people are perfect. The reality was doctors diagnosing the same patients were about 20% accurate.
Whoa.
On the first diagnosis, right? So, we have to assume that that AI isn't going to be perfect. It's going to move the needle, hopefully in the right direction.
My thing about AI is like I've made posts. Literally, if you could go look, they went super viral about me like making stuff with AI and acting like I'm that's all I do, and they have the content I've got. I'm monetized on Facebook, and it's like. It's paid for my AI accounts from these people arguing with me about AI.
Yep.
Literally, like I'm paying for my AI accounts with the engagement. And they're like, well, you won't ever make any money. I'm like, I'm making money right here while we're talking. You're literally paying me for my ChatGPT account. Every time you come back here, it makes it pop up more for more people. And then, it's you just, I don't know. It really pisses them off, but they've literally paid me several $100s a month just to like argue with me on my Facebook.
Yep. Yeah. Jack in the shop.
Every time they contribute something, the meter's ticking, right?
The ching.
It's the same on YouTube, right? Every time someone leaves a comment, they think if they leave like a thumbs down negative comment,
some algorithm. They only knew they were arguing with my AI though.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but
I'm not even on Facebook, and they're just sitting there arguing with me, and I'm like, it's just replying for me, basically killing them with kindness.
Yeah, Jack in the shop said, my washing machine has an IP address. My lawnmower has an IP address. My grill has an IP address.
Yeah, our stove has an IP address. It's like, why? Why does it need that?
I wanted so bad that Samsung refrigerator with the big screen on it. My wife was like, no. But yeah, right. We said artificial intelligence, not as great a threat as natural stupidity.
For sure. I agree 100%.
All right, you want to take this, Sean?
Because it's going to be living in your home. So why does a Neo robot look like a walking Google Home? Because it lives in your home. So that's Google's home, Google and all their aesthetics, that they have for the homes, made to like make you feel comfortable with it being in your home. Like if you look at like their speakers, everything like that, they're just so natural that like it all looks like that. And so like it's just a natural feeling of fabric and stuff. People like that speaker feel for some reason too, because Google always makes their stuff branded a certain way, so you're comfortable with it.
I didn't watch the movie, but I forget what it was. It was some movie where he bought a robot because his wife passed away. And
oh yeah, there's been a couple of those.
Yeah, but and like to get you, the leader in the film was she opened her mouth like that, and her tongue went through a UV cleaning, and they were like, "Why does her tongue have a UV cleaning?" You know what I mean?
We're like determined to make our robot our friend. Like it's like our number one goal is just to make him like one of the homies here at the print shop.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely will follow along that series. I want to see this. Yeah. So Big Start said, even if you oppose using AI, you can use AI to teach new tricks. I've learned DaVinci Resolve. Not tech deficient, but Resolve is crazy. I feed ChatGPT images and text when in a jam.
Yeah. So I've had people say, "Oh, I'm never going to use AI," and
You're using
like,
AI
I had
every
this
day.
conversation, right? And you go, "Well, do you watch television?" Yeah.
Well, you get on Facebook.
99% of the commercials that are on television now are AI generated.
What do you think the AI detector that's telling you it's AI is?
Yeah.
You know?
You know, I was telling one of our interns, she didn't get hired on, and she was looking for a job. And she said, "Hey, you know, I've been struggling looking for a new job. Rick, do you have any recommendations?" And I said, "Yes." I said, when I came out of the field and I was looking for a different type of job, the old school resume, handing somebody your resume, nobody does that anymore. No one's reading it. It's all AI.
That's over. Yeah, it's done.
It's an AI. So if you don't pass the AI, no person's ever going to read your resume.
So what you do is you take your resume or the job listing, and you type all that stuff out, and you say build a big thing. You put it in the very bottom of your resume, turn it into white, and make it really, really small. And then the AI will read it whenever you submit your PDF or whatever, but no one will see it. And then you'll be the perfect candidate for the job.
Yeah, you just load it up with keywords.
Yeah, and you just hide them like in white ink that's really, really small.
Yeah. So yeah, I paid a resume builder to redo my LinkedIn, to redo my resume, to do all these key things. They didn't change any of my experience, but the way it was written, the way it was done, the formatting, and to this day, now I must get at least probably 5 or 6 offers every day. Not something maybe I always want, but the point is from nothing to that means something, right? So
going back to that DaVinci Resolve, that my friend who's a producer actually made a plugin for that, and it's really good. Like we just filmed a bunch of B-roll the other day and put it in there, and it created a whole episode in the exact format we do for shops and everything. And so like it is getting really, really good.
Yeah, this is one place where I'm kind of moving quickly, is just editing videos with AI.
I hate editing videos. That's my least favorite thing. If
I
you did want to ask, editing videos is my least favorite thing, and fixing
I used to
printers.
say I enjoyed it, but it's occurred to me that it just takes longer and longer and longer, and it's like I don't enjoy this anymore.
Yeah, no. So a lot of people have this whole quick scheme to go virals by creating shorts from long-term content, and I do that a lot. So don't get me wrong. But the point is that even using AI tools, like I use that to promote this podcast, even using AI tools, it does find viral moments,
like Opus.
Yeah, Opus Clip,
yeah,
exactly. But you still do have to do your fair share of video editing, right? They're not gonna.
Yeah, they're not perfect. It'll cover your face. It'll do stuff that you need to move.
Good place.
It'll be in the text zone when it should be, right above it. In between, not exactly where it's supposed to be. You got to still go format it.
Right, but it's a good place to start.
Yeah.
Central said, "I really like to have Johnny 5." I agree.
Yeah, that'd be fun,
especially with the laser.
We're literally creating a robot like here just ourselves because I like to build stuff and create stuff, but it's a chameleon, like I was saying, and it's going to be all interactive and everything, and have like husky lenses in the eye so it can actually sense where to see things. So like whenever we talk to it, like, hey, this is happening, it's going to be taken in the intake of the shop and telling us like when we need it later, like, hey, how do we fix this last time? It's like, well, let me look.
That's cool. Chris said, I want a robot that does maintenance on my laser, CNC, and 3D printers. I think this is.
I'll let you know if it works. We're gonna. That's literally why I got one.
Yeah, I definitely think I could see this in a factory, right? Because factories don't close.
So if you watch the video, they have like their hand. It'll sit there and like grab a screw and just screw it in on its own, like perfectly.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I suspect what'll eventually happen is it won't be a separate robot maintaining things. It'll just be a function built into the product, right?
Yeah.
Look at pop machines from McDonald's, right? the Coke machines, all these ones that you can go in and you can get these 170 different flavors of Coke. That has an AI built directly inside the soft serve machine. And when it's not operating correctly, it reaches directly out to Coke. And they have a mandatory service agreement, and Coke just shows up. They don't even know that they needed someone to show up. They just like, hey, this isn't working right, because they want the product to taste as it should. It's kind of crazy. Sanders Living Graven said, you have to have the ability to critical think so you understand if AI is giving correct answers. People are always slowly losing the ability.
Also, AI is not easy to use. You have to be kind of smart to be able to use it. Like, I talk to people every day that's like, I don't know how to do this. And I actually give like classes on how to do AI and like working into your workflow or little like one-on-ones. And I gave one guy the other day. He's like, I had no idea it could do all this. And he's was kind of against it at first, but then, and he wasn't even there for that. He wanted a CRM for me. And he was like asking me, well, are you going to be available if I, need like admin work or whatever? Or what's the support? Because I kind of pushed him off because he asked about the CRM like a year ago or like 6 months ago. And I kind of blew him off, because I thought we were over that. I set it all up the first time and then I deleted it because he never came back. And then he came back. And so I was like, okay, let's set it up together. And I went through there setting it up with him. And I didn't want to show my screen at first. And then I was like, start doing it. And then we just kind of went into a whole course of like teaching him AI. And I was like, you don't really need me or support. Like, you really don't. You just tell it what you want it to do. It's going to go figure it out and configure it, and do everything. If it hits any, thing that it does need an opinion, it's going to ask you, but like you got to be kind of think outside the box on some of the things you got to do with it.
I think it's funny that I say talking to AI is like talking to someone Alzheimer's, right?
Yeah.
Like,
it's not Google. It's
right.
it's something you're talking with.
It's AI is only as good as your prompts, right? And that's why I like using the same threads over again for the same type, because it's learning this ability. My wife actually said, aren't you scared that it knows so much about you? Like, I can literally go into AI right now and say, write me a bio description, or hey, write me a sales pitch of DeWalt tools. And it's gonna like dig into all these videos and all this content and everything. It's the amount it starts learning about you that you are feeding into it.
I've like completely built an AI clone. So I have like one of these fieldies that listens to you all day, every day. It makes tasks and all kinds of stuff. I have it where it sets up every night at 11:45 to grab all my AI and online content that I've been doing throughout the day, all my phone records, everything. And then it updates an about me file, like a markdown file that I keep as the center point for all the knowledge of anything that I need my human touch on. And so like when it reproduces things for me, it's just like me because it literally listens to me 24/7, knows how I talk, takes my vernacular, takes everything, transcripts every day. It knows what I'm currently working on because it updates. So the next day when I'm like, hey, what am I supposed to say? It's like, well, yesterday, it puts it on my Google task list as part of Buildy. But my about me, I created, if I could go ask like what I need to do, and it'll literally break down like, hey, you had a conversation with this person about this. Was this, it seemed kind of important. You want it, you have till 3 p.m. to do it, and everything like that. And so like mine knows too much about me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm past where your wife already said, and I didn't know too much about me.
That's the perfect application for personal assistant type AI because you're feeding it the truth, right?
Yep.
It's unlike a search where, like, I don't know if it's happened to you guys, but I've gotten into arguments with ChatGPT because it reports things that it's arguing adamantly are correct and they're completely wrong, right? And you go, well, go look at this thing. And then it goes, okay, yes, I have to change my answer to it wasn't true, it was false. It's getting better, but current AI can hallucinate a bit every now and again.
And you also got to be on the right model of AI too. Like if you're on like an older model and you don't realize it, or you're not on the newest up-to-date one, the newest up-to-date ones are going to give you better results every time. Yeah. Unless right at the first when they release, you may get, like they released like Fable on Claude and it was super crazy for like 4 days and then got taken away. And I made so much crap in those 4 days that was like blew my mind that it was just one-shotting full development sites and everything. And then they took it away. When it came back, it was nowhere near what it was like pre-ban because it was banned by the government. So like you got to kind of keep up also whenever you're doing that, like which one you need to be using for what's going to give you a better outcome, what's going to think for a long time and eat all your tokens.
Yeah, I don't think I could wear that, you know.
Yeah.
Not if my wife had access to it, because, you know, and she'd come back to me. I tell her all the time, like, hey, you don't have to remind me every 6 months I said I'd do something. When I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, you know?
Yeah.
You said on December 16th at 3 p.m. that you were going to do this for me. You still have not done it.
Yeah.
It brings my voice back. Damn.
My wife wears one too, and like she likes it. Like at first she was skeptical, and then she's like, "This is like the greatest thing you ever bought."
That's cool. I never heard of that till you mentioned that. That's
you should try it out. They're pretty cool.
Pretty wild. So what's something like that cost?
They're like $170, but I had like an affiliate code from someone, which if someone wants one, just message me. And I think they're like $90.
So the audio, is it only picking up the audio around you, or is it able to connect to the device? So
it's right here, and it syncs with my phone. So like I would open like right here. Let me see.
So you literally, while you're on the phone, talking on the phone.
So like right now, we've been talking. It's been going for 68 minutes because it's a consistent conversation. Okay. And then like you go over here and you hit like all your tasks right here, and you just slide them over. Like add that to my Google, task list. And just slide it over, or hey, not important. And then it shoots over here to which I have a monitor right there, but it shoots to my Google task list. Like I'm telling you all, that's all I do for my business now is just like workflow automation. That's what I'm kind of special, like moving more towards, is doing that for other makers. But it shoots over there. We have a live active list. We can see if things we need to do and just go check off and get them done. And like, what I do is when I'm walking around and if I have an idea, because that's the hardest part for me is forgetting my ideas. I'll just literally say, hey, this is going to go on there, but it's like, hey, remind me tomorrow. I need to go grab some metal so I can build that, robot cape that I was going to do for this, the Chong Chameleon, and it's going to give me that task on the little list, and so that's what I use it for, is just when I have these creative ideas, or just, we all have them. Especially if you're a maker, you think that thing like, that bright idea, and then by the time you walk through a doorway, you forget it. And my theory on that, by the way, is when you walk through a doorway, sometimes you catch an alien, and they Men in Black you real quick and they run off and you're like, what was I doing? Just think about it.
So I think Steve's wheels are turning because he's a software developer. So I'm sure he can get really geeky into this type of stuff.
Yeah, I do a lot of software development, and I'm very deep level thinker. And so like it gets crazy sometimes.
So Chris said, I have no problem firing customers.
I don't either. Yeah. I don't like I said, I don't like to. I don't like how it makes me feel like dealing with the confrontation, but like I don't have a problem doing it.
Tim said, as for customers, I've been there, done that, and got that t-shirt. Yeah. You want to take this, Sean?
Appreciate real unfiltered responses from you, Sean. No problem. I try to keep it real.
So there you go, Steve. It's 100 watt that he was doing cutting that.
Watt JPT. Well, nice. I got one of those sitting on my bench, but it's right beside my 1200 watt fiber or metal.
3 passes with 150 millimeter lens. Nice one.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you should be able to do that. 16 gauge isn't too bad. Big stars. I find the price for custom work that causes most to say I'm not paying that much is the right price to be able to keep up with demand.
I outprice stuff all the time, hoping the customer will go away, and then when they accept it, I'm like, okay, that was cool, but I still don't want to deal with this customer.
Yeah, we were talking about that a couple of weeks ago. It's like the customer tax, right? Like you don't want to do it, so you charge them. You quote them
when it works though, like double, like triple price. You're just like, yeah, I don't want. You're just like, you talk about it with your person, like, I don't want to do this. No, like, let's just charge them like 4 times what it would normally cost as a rush order. And it's like,
the problem is every once in a while they'll say okay.
Yeah, and it's always a pain in the ass. It's like on a Thursday night, they need it by Saturday morning, and it's something you outsource usually.
Yeah, and then you realize no matter what you quoted on it, it's not worth the money.
No.
That's funny. You want to take this, Steve?
Radu says no. He meant show the comments. You usually have it down in the corner so we can all see it.
Here they are.
So we share them, and it is on the screen, but we don't have them auto populate as they come in because two reasons. One, they're really, really small, so I'm not sure anyone can read them. Because if you look how big this is, the full screen, it's only about a 16th of the screen size.
If you're watching it on like one of our YouTube channels, you'll only see the ones that are from people on that channel, right? So,
correct. So, for instance, if you're watching it from my Facebook and somebody writes something on Facebook, you only see the Facebook. If you're watching Sean's YouTube, you only see YouTube. But the miracle of StreamYard is it's pulling all of them into one, and that's also part of the reason why we're sharing. But I don't like the auto share. It's way too small. I'm not sure anyone could read it at all. And once in a while, we get some pretty wild comments.
I was about to say, you got to kind of regulate that stuff too.
Yeah.
It's not often, but once in a while, just.
I'm not gonna lie. Someone made me mad. Everyone knows who it was, and I went on his YouTube and I was going at him during a live, and I know he was sitting there just deleting them.
Chris says Skylar's an artist who uses wood as her medium. Agree.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Oh. The next comment. Tony
said, let's see if it works. Clack, clack, clack. And where this comment came from is we said, Clack is a regular. He watches our lives all the time. But just as we said, there's people who are listening, not watching. And he generally has our podcast on while he's working in the shop. And generally, by the third time he hears his name, he sits down at a computer and has some kind of response. So Tony is calling out Clack. Clack, are you there? Oh, man. Big Sarge said, Tim, I've been replicating beer for years. We need to find out his trade secrets.
Yes, but you can't just have the box sitting beside your chair when you're watching television and push the button and grab
I guess the big difference is, are we talking Canadian beers or our beers? Because
beer,
not Canada. I don't think that's beer. I think that's like, I don't know, man.
Semi-distilled
not supposed to be that
alcohol.
strong. That's what they made shots for.
Yeah, but the Australians can handle it. I mean, they got beer that's like ours.
Canadian beer is like 6 beers to our 1 beer. Like, oh man, you get off the bar stool and you have a problem.
Well, you guys had a shortage of fresh water, so just drink a beer.
It's all the AI plants. What are you gonna do? You want to take this one, Sean?
I've had a customer berate me for using an AI voice in a product video. Now they followed up with the fact the product they received met their need, but use of my AI narration was slop. I don't really care.
Yeah.
Like, you can get mad about me using AI all you want. Doesn't bother me. I actually had people, with posts that I made to basically poke the bear. I poked the wrong, or not even the wrong bears, some bears that they went and left bad reviews on my business and stuff, and people don't realize you can get that stuff removed if there's no validity in it or anything. So you just contact Google and it removes it.
Yeah, just bogus to go to that level.
And the reviews literally this AI or print shop owner is using AI. Don't support him. Like, okay, y'all, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, the irony is the people who are most sensitive about their distaste for AI are the least likely to know when they're using it, right?
The point is,
they have their arguing on Facebook with you, thinking it's you, right?
The point is, did they have their tinfoil hat on or off when you were talking to them, Sean?
Yeah, for sure.
You got a question here for you, Sean.
Does the guest have a website? Yes, I do. I have several, but the main ones would be sjgprintdesign.com, which is where we just kind of do all of our everything for our shop. And then we have patchituppro.com, which is full shop maker CRM software, basically the whole workflow for everything you need.
Nice.
And it comes with a 7-day trial, so you can check it out.
Nice. You want to take this one, Steve?
Chris says the only way I easily pick up AI narration is mispronouncing words. Low bow, and
Ussa, it'll say Ussa.
Ussa, yes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's improving at a mind-boggling rate, especially video. Yeah. Video is getting it's almost impossible now for AI video detection to detect AI video.
I have a full like voice robot that runs our shop and like answers the phone and everything. His name's Chong the Chameleon, but he like actually answers the phone and people don't know and they don't care and they like literally just talk to him, give him the whole order and everything. I always tell people like test it and see if you could get it to break, and they never can. And I have one that runs a whole nother business that we don't even answer the phones for. And it's like a business where people call all day until they're there for their appointment. And it literally checks them in, checks them out, checks them in, checks them out, doing everything.
It's crazy.
People don't complain either. Someone complain at first, and then they'll come inside and like, y'all's answering service is really, really good.
Yeah, the only thing I hate is when it's a trap. Like I can't have the ability to talk, like my bank, right?
Yeah,
I'm calling you because I have a question about something, and I don't want to speak to the corporate office. I want to speak to my branch because I'm going to head there in a few minutes. You know what I mean? And it just won't let you speak to a physical person.
Yeah, that is frustrating for sure.
Yeah.
If you ask to speak to a human at ours anytime, it's like, hold on, and I'll grab someone, then it calls us and then we answer the phone.
Right. Jack in the shop said, I started last month working to get my 4,000 watch hours on YouTube. Now YouTube announced this week they're changing the rules to the end of the year.
Yeah,
Jack, here's my advice. Okay,
8,000. Yeah.
Here's my advice. Everyone is when you first start on YouTube, they're so gung ho on monetizing your channel, and you will even change the content creation that you are creating because you are assuming or making assumptions that this or that type of content may get you more views, a long view content, right? Who cares?
You want more content. You want to put out so much content so you can know what fails and doesn't fail, like, and put out mass amounts of content. I post them on Facebook 25 times a day, like no matter what, like every single day. Right. And like it's to test the kind of post to see what goes viral, because like every day one goes viral out of 25.
Yeah, and the other thing is
it's a numbers game on a lot of that stuff. Like, the reels, the shorts, everything. You just got to post it all and kind of find what works, and then kind of lean heavier on that once you figure it out.
Every YouTuber all of a sudden at some point in time becomes a coach, right? And they always say every mentor has a mentor, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the point is that these people who actually are online and they're saying, pay me $5,000, $7,000, I'm gonna help you get monetized.
They still can't create your content. They can't do your.
At the end of the day, honestly, just being completely transparent, the bulk of your money is going to come from sponsorships. Like when I first started, I wanted to do video after video after video. I was the person who was emailing all these companies. Let me review this. Let me review that. Let me review this. Now that I have like Lowe's, Best Buy, I can do 4 videos a year, and I'd make the same amount of money as I was putting out a long-term video every single week, a video every other day on the shorts, chasing all these reviews. So as you start creating a higher tier content, none of that matters. So just create the content you want to create. Stop chasing the dollar. Just chase your vision, and everything will fall in line. And it doesn't seem like that at first, because it's a whole lot of work without seeing results. But in the end, you will see.
Yeah, the YouTube is getting harder, right? Like it's not as easy as it was even 5 years ago when I started, but it's become something different now. And if you understand what it is, it isn't harder, it's just different. And one of the things you have to understand is it's not a place where you're going to be buying that new sports car because you got monetized, right? It's a place where you make contacts, and sometimes it's companies, right? Sometimes it's those endorsements, and sometimes it's just like if you're running a business, right? It's like I've gotten tons of business from just people saying, "Hey, I saw this on your YouTube channel." It's like, okay, cool. Right?
Of all the money you're going to make, the monetized money that you get from YouTube is the smallest amount.
Yeah, it's not that much.
It's a fraction of what your potential is. Right?
But let's just say you said, I'm not going to do YouTube. I'm going to go on GoDaddy, and I'm going to get my own website, and I'm going to post all my own content. I'm going to drive my own traffic. Like the amount of money you'd be spending to have that amount of space to be able to save it, and to drive your own traffic would be outrageous. So just think about it this way: YouTube is a platform that you can, for free, have unlimited storage, and we all know storage on your phone, everything is prime.
Yeah, you have to look at it like that, right? Like if I was going to do this myself, it would cost me a boatload of money to try and get the same kind of expanse that YouTube provides. Not only is YouTube free, they actually pay me a bit to do that, right? To do what I was going to pay money myself to do. So, it's just the directional change that's happened. And there's been a few algorithmic changes that have enabled smaller YouTubers to get the same exposure that Mr. Beast gets, right? And it's just all about, it's all about retention, right?
And
clicks and retention.
I have some members only videos content that I shared this on, but I'll kind of give some tips to our watchers. These big influencers like the Mr. Beast and all these type people, what people don't understand is that everything that somebody's going to tell you, like, hey, thumbnail, description, SEO score, hashtags, all that stuff that they're going to tell you, which is important, which I think are important, right? When you go to a lot of these large YouTubers, content creators, they could have a title that says banana. And there's no description, zero, nothing. There's no playlist. Everything, the little tricks and everything that everyone's telling you, they don't do it all. And that one video gets 17 million views in 3 hours. And you're like, well, what the heck? The thing is that they're at a point that no matter what they do, it's not them. The platform is promoting them, right?
Yeah, when you're a top tier YouTuber, so Mr. Beast and his ilk, YouTube is actually they're actually YouTube property, right? Like they're not paid the same way regular YouTubers are paid. They're paid a salary, and it's pretty substantial. So it's in YouTube's best interest to expose their videos to as many people as they can.
So the reason that I'm bringing that up is because sometimes their suggestions are not valid to us. It may be valid to them, but if they told you, just put a video out every day and who cares what you wrote in the description, do it. It's not going to happen. So in some of the methods they give you or the methods they suggest, they were valid 5, 6, 7 years ago, because you know what? 5, 6, 7 years ago is when they actually were doing that. And nowadays they're not, because now they have a huge marketing team, or they're just running by the seat of their pants. They're not so deeply involved to know really what works. So to me, if you want valuable information for someone to how to grow your following, how to grow monetization, like you're saying this, you want someone on the upcoming. You want someone who's, kind of maybe working toward that progress as well, right? You literally see proof is in the pudding, so to speak. They're doing stuff and you see them doing it. Someone who has 100 million followers, they're so far beyond you. It's hard to relate.
I mean, do the math, right? If they've got even 50 million followers, every video they put out is going to get statistically 100,000 views, right? Minimum. And anytime any of us can get 100,000 views, it's like, wow, this is fantastic, right?
Yeah. You feel like it went viral. So I'm not being discouraged in any way. I'm not being negative Nancy. That all I'm saying is, don't let your passion, don't let what you want to do be misconstrued because you think that this is the fast path to success. Do what you want to do, create the content you want, learn from it, and grow from it. And it'll just happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's like sales, right? At the end of the day, you figure out who your customer is, or in this case, who your ideal viewer is, and just make videos for them.
Yep.
When I started, I was checking YouTube analytics 50 times a day, right? And now it's just like about a year and a half ago, I just stopped. And like, not every video is going to be a hit. It's just how it is. And they are what they are. You do the best job you can, and you think you're going to help your ideal viewer. And if you do, great.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I'm sorry. It's good. So
a small loyal following is much more better than a big following that doesn't do anything for you too, just so y'all know. So like if you get like 100 people who are super loyal to you, it's better than having 10,000, 100,000 people who really barely watch your stuff. So it's not always a numbers game.
Yeah.
It's like I don't have a huge following on any of my channels, but like my Facebook's got a decent following, but I leverage that, and that's how I make money. It's just a little following I have because everyone's super loyal to me. Like when something happened, they all have my back too, because I've created a little army of friends basically.
Yeah, it's funny you said that, Sean. So I did a laser video review with my son. Most of my content's with my son. And I said they had a fire suppression system. And my son said, wait a minute, hold on a second. So if this thing goes off and shoots water in the laser, won't it actually more than likely ruin the laser? And I said, yes. He said, well, then why would you want that? I said, how many times do I say we can't leave the room, the laser's running? I said, so what would you rather have? If you walked out the room, you didn't follow the rules, and the laser went on fire, you want to burn down your house or ruin your laser? And he said, I guess that makes sense. I posted that video, and this guy posted on the video, your son needs to learn when to speak, and that he shouldn't interrupt you when doing the videos. And it went nuts of people defending my son. Who the hell do you think you are? Why would you say that? Little Ricky's a great part of his channel. Like, what the hell's wrong? It went, at first, like you said, Sean, like every comment helping the algorithm, it's pushing you, and I let it go. And then like 300 comments in, I finally deleted his comment because it wouldn't stop. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want this video to be associated negative. Like, but I know like any comment is good algorithm, but I stopped it because it was starting to get ugly and the guy kept replying. You know what I mean? But yeah, exactly what you just said. You're fine.
Yeah, I had someone steal my software I did, like a beta tester, and I posted about it. Or I didn't post first. I talked to other people, and someone made a post because he did them wrong, and then it blew up in this huge thing on Facebook, and it's all because I just had a lot of people who knew me, knew my character, knew like what I'm about, and they just like support me. I mean, that's how I make my money, is like people literally just my little small following that supports me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so they all had my back, and so it validated everything that I was saying, whenever I did kind of make a post about it and make a big deal about it.
Steve, you want to take this?
Big Sarge says, most makers don't care about being viral. That's true. But if AI helps bring useful information, I don't see the opposition. I think slinging the AI slop claim is just a new hit phrase. Yeah,
people don't even know what AI slop is. They just say it because everyone else is saying it.
Yeah.
I never mind slop, just so everyone's aware.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, when they see, like I said, when they see a commercial on television with two ducks walking on a counter selling dish soap, they don't think anything about it, right? Like, it's like...
See, in the 90s, that acronym meant something totally different.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just people don't understand. They just repeat terms.
Yeah. You want to take this one, Sean?
AI using Metasploit is crazy good.
Ever heard of it?
Exploit? What?
Metasploit, I guess. AI using Metasploit is crazy good.
Never heard of it.
I don't know.
Chris said realistic AI is at version .0004. When it gets to .10, it'll be really useful stuff. This company's been after me, and at some point I almost wanted to try it just to see it. You fly to them, and it's a professional studio that makes a complete AI replica of you that supposedly you can't tell that it's not you, and then they train it so that you can actually create content and people think it's you. No, this is really me, by the way. But
you made that trip, didn't you?
No, if it was a hologram projection like the Michael Jackson studio, I might do it, but no, but it's just kind of crazy that that's really becoming a thing, and I could see that, and then like corporate use, right? Like we all have to go when you get a new job, watch those boring HR videos. It's like, oh god, who really cares if that's AI? But to me, like if you can tell that's AI, like you can tell. I don't know that I would continue watching a video on YouTube if it was just completely fake, unless it had great content that I was getting from it.
I've cloned my voice and I've used it for voiceovers, and like no one can tell the videos went viral and did well. Like they're just my voice, but it was like, oh, it's really him talking. It wasn't me.
I think his voice is easier to fool, right?
I've seen some videos on some of because I have a lot of friends that are really, really deep into AI, and they put out some videos, and my friend that's a producer, and it's like I had no idea like, because I know them, and I'm like, and then I asked him about one of his other real videos. I was like, was that AI? He said, no, that was really me. But he's a producer. He usually doesn't get on the camera, and he won like a big award here in Austin. So he like did his thank you thing. And I was like, was that AI? And he was like, no, that was actually me using movie quality, for my little shout out.
Nice. All right, you want to take this, Steve?
Sart says, what I can't say y'alls. I just can't do it.
I should have said Sean. You know what, Sean?
I'm from Texas. What is your favorite AI generative model to use? Nano, Banana, Gemini? What hits your intent with the fewest critics or attempts? I would say ChatGPT.
I'm actually in the transition to Claude now.
I've used Claude. I use Claude. My AI subscription bill is like over $1,000 a month, but I use Claude. What's it called? ChatGPT, Manus, a few of them, and like ChatGPT's the winner right now with what it can do and just like how good the outcome is and everything like that. And I use them side by side. I literally have Claude open right here on one screen, Codex open, which is ChatGPT on one screen.
I have ChatGPT too, but I've had these challenges, right, where I don't like the answer one gives me, so I'll copy what it said and I'll give it to the other one and say,
I do that all the time.
Claude says this. Oh, well, if Claude says that, well, let me go and analyze it again.
Do you set your backend settings though, and your parameters and guardrails to like make sure it does certain things? Because that's a big key that a lot of people don't know.
Well, I mean, part of it is like I use it a lot for researching for outlines for videos and stuff.
You should like triple check everything for facts, in the backend. Like it'll actually triple check to make sure it's factual that it's giving you.
Yeah,
I like ChatGPT. The one thing I would say though is the free version of ChatGPT versus the paid version of ChatGPT. The reason I opt to pay was because I hated waiting. Right, like ChatGPT is not slow. It's because the free version they're lower tiering you for the paid subscribers. Right?
I have 2 Max accounts, which is $200 a month for ChatGPT. I have to have 2 of them. And then I have all my team have a team account, and then I have Claude. I have the same thing set up over there. So like I run one. So I have 2 computers down here, and I run one when I'm running agent work on one computer, and it starts taking over and doing it. I switch to the other computer and start doing the development I need while that one's working, and then just bounce back and forth.
Yeah.
So and it's usually between it just depends honestly where I have credits at the time. If I had unlimited credits, it would be ChatGPT all day for me. But I love Claude. Like I've developed a lot of stuff with Claude. Just where we're currently at right now with what ChatGPT can do and how clean it gets it and everything is really, really good. With like I think they have a 5.6 Soul model. That one does not miss, especially if you ramp it up, on like the ultra code and stuff like that. It's really good. But it's going to cost you a lot of money. I mean, like I say, I paid. I just told you, $800 in AI bills between 2 companies. And that's not even if I hit the credits and I get desperate. Because I try to avoid doing the credits. I'll run through my whole account, my team account too, and then I'll do that on 2 accounts. And then towards the end, if it's like the end of the month and I'm like watching like when's my re-up, on on my credits, and then sometimes if I need to complete a project, I'll just pay for the credits and get it done too. And the credits are ridiculously expensive. For what they can do. It's not the same as like the usage.
Yeah, the only 2 apps that I pay for is I pay for Opus Clips Pro and the ChatGPT Pro. And those are my 2. And I'm not saying that there's not others out there, but I don't have that's within my means, I should say. Right. Yeah. I'd love to have more, but just
I do a lot of development. That's really the only I do a lot of like client website building and stuff. So like that's really why I need it is, I'm doing 10 things at once. I'll eat up a whole account in a whole day.
Nice. Well, gotta do what you gotta. What makes you money, then it's worth it, right?
Yep.
Big Sarge said in the US it's called FU pricing. Here we call it survival relentless customers. Yeah. You'd be surprised when they see coming back, right? And then and the problem is you do a good job and they come back again. Clack said no. I said, no, he's not here. Funny. So the clack did work. People are laughing. How's it going, Clack? Thanks for watching, brother. Appreciate you. Tim said, "Don't you dare say that, Rick. Our beer has been stronger than yours for years." I know. That's the point. What I'm saying is that, like, man, Canadian beers, Australian beers, like, I don't know. I guess U.S. beer is like watered down water. Hence, I'm drinking water.
It's the weakest in the world, really.
To me, like, drinking beer is just a social. I'm not trying to get drunk, you know.
Yeah, but you're not trying to get drunk with Canadian beer either, right?
Yeah, but how do you not try to get drunk when one beer is like
it's
four
not
beers?
like at no, I mean, unless you're at some kind of a stupid party, but you don't necessarily at no point do you go to the fridge and go, I'm going to get a beer and get drunk, right? It's just,
but I guess your tolerance levels change when you
probably.
Yeah, because like for me, for my CDL, I can only drink half a beer here, and that's at our level. And if I drink,
You should be ashamed.
Yeah. Yeah. So I remember when Ice House first came out here, and it was like double the alcohol. I was drinking Ice House, and then for a reason I changed beers, whatever, and I could drink like almost a whole case in my whole life because I was so used to double the alcohol. It was like nothing, you know. But yeah, so your tolerance levels have to change. There you go, Steve.
Big Sarge, man. He's asking if Canada has beer now. Come on up. There's a beer not too far from me, the brewery. You can get 18% beer.
Chris said, "We have beer you call beer. You can call beer." Oh, man. Yeah, normally I'm drinking a beer in Modelo while we're doing the live, but I shouldn't have any beer today, so I just drank some water. Sean, you're up. You got a question?
But what's your Sean YouTube channel name? It's at SJG Print Design or at Patch It Up Pro. Those are the ones I usually do on YouTube. We've produced a lot of other people's stuff. Like honestly, I'm the worst about marketing my things. I'm gonna be honest. Like I'll sit here and do things for other people all day, but when it comes to myself and my brand, I'm horrible. But again, a small following that's really loyal takes you really far. And that's what, I do have that on like just my Facebook profile and other places. I just connected with a lot of people through messaging and stuff like that.
Yeah. So big announcements. I don't like to say, count your chickens before they hatch, but I was at least honored that I was nominated, and I'm in the grand finals for things. We'll see what happens, but I might be in an Ace commercial with my son.
That'd be cool.
So that's pretty cool. So I went through the finals for a John Deere commercial, made it all the way. I thought I was actually going to get it, and then they picked someone from 4 years ago who wasn't even in the up running. They decided that, so they told me, "Hey, Rick, just don't get upset. Just same as this happened, that may happen to somebody else." They basically won, and then they decided to pull someone for 2 years ago, which could be you. So, John Deere is still kind of like a family-run type thing, but see what happens. But that'd be pretty exciting for me. Big Sarge said Taco Bell in Newport, Maine serves as the drive-through agent. Oh, I've seen this with the AI. Works well except when things aren't available. Then need AI to update when available if you're going to use it fully. Yeah, I see the drive-thrus now. They there's timers, right? So when you pull up to the thing, it says, how long did it take them to greet you? How long did it take you to take your order? And how long did it take you to go from the drive window to the first window to the second window to leave, right? And they try cheating. That's why they tell you, pull over to number one, because they don't want their
timer window to run up. That's what they get graded on by their manager or their owner.
Exactly, But so this AI now that we're just auto greets like, hey, are you going to use your McDonald's app today making your order? And then all of a sudden it's Tyrone like, yeah, what's going on? You're like, what the hell does that do? Well, where did that sweet woman's voice just go? I'm just trying to do it. But yeah, it's definitely different, especially when you're hearing these AI voices and then you see the person at the window, it's clearly not them.
Clack says, y'all make money?
Yeah, the last time Andy was from Andy Bird's Builds. was on it, and we started doing a deep dive. We started going into the rates, and he got so mad he like didn't talk half the live because he was like, he paid a lot of money in ad campaigns, and it turns out his ROI wasn't that good as far as what you're getting paid. But if by taking out ads on YouTube, it doesn't always equal to you making money back from those views. Sean, looks like
Sean, did you do a video with Zach Dewhurst of Deco Network? No, I didn't, but he asked me to do one. I just haven't gotten around to it, just to show them Patch It Up Pro and everything. But like, I didn't really want to do it because technically Patch It Up Pro is replacing Deco Network, so I didn't know what to do about that. It's like, hey, I'm kind of like not just stopping at patches. It's just that's what got your attention was because this was a patch mock-up software, but we never got around to it.
There you go. So it looks like some of our subscribers already know who you are. There you go. Jack in the shop said, yeah, I know YouTube money is small. Just something I thought about working on. I got 550 videos now. None of them good. I use Opus Clips. So if you have 550 videos,
you got 5,000 of them.
Take those videos, throw it in Opus Clips, and let it find moments in the videos that it started good. But take that short and link it back to the long-term content video to Steve and I have a different opinion on this, but you have different audiences, right? You have long-term content audience, and you have a short-term audience. And what it boils down to is age. I mean, do you want to add your spin to that, Steve? Because we talk about
yeah. I mean, the interesting dynamic here is that YouTube counts a short view as a view, just like a long view on a long form video. So if you just want views, pound out the shorts, right? I personally don't. I try to not do too many shorts. I do them on occasion, but it's a pretty rare event.
Yeah. But like I said, it's so when I wasn't doing the shorts and you looked at the demographics of who's watching my channel, it was pretty much our age group and older, right?
Yeah.
And as I started adding the shorts, guess what? It's a 50-50 split. The younger and the older.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to make 3-minute short videos, you're going to get the under 25 crowd, right? Well, let's say under 35 crowd.
And when you buy 35 means years old.
Yes. The challenge is in our space, almost everything costs too much money for an under 35-year-old, right? So like they're busy paying for houses and kids educations and a bunch of things. So they tend not to be the right kind of target audience for a typical maker channel, right? So there's not a ton of benefit, and I found it was just kind of dividing the audience and making things messed up.
So Chris, look right here. So Chris said, "Hey Jack, I really like the way you're doing the millage videos. Really good." So you do have people even within the live itself saying you're making good content. So don't beat yourself up.
Yeah.
It takes time, and it can be extremely discouraging when you're putting all these efforts into it and you just don't see it come back. And what's even more weird is like, I've made videos that get like nothing, like 38 views. I'm like, this sucks. And 3 years later, it has like 87,000 views.
Yeah, they will circle back around. It's weird.
Yeah.
I had a bunch of those that just like, it's like, why is my monetization on Facebook going up? And I look at the post and it's like a year ago, this post took off. I'm like, someone shared it in a group. That's what happened, and then it just took off from there more and more and more and more and got shared.
Yeah. So just keep to the grind. And like I said, as long as you're creating content around stuff that you're actually passionate about, you won't burn yourself out. When you try to carbon copy other people because you think that's the mission to success, you're gonna burn yourself out because you're not passionate what you're creating.
Yeah, that I definitely agree with.
You said, thanks, Chris. Did you read the channel log for Millage Art version 4? Yeah. So has anybody else using Millage? I know I kept saying that I was going to try it, download it, but I haven't. Just curious.
I've looked at it, but it's the hobby CNC control software.
Agreed. Not
Yeah, I
disagreeing.
mean, it's not ever going to be Aspire, and
Right. No, I know.
but I don't think that's
to
its
buy it.
intent.
It was very
Right?
expensive.
Yeah, I mean, the difference is one's like $1,200 and one is 100, right? So you wouldn't expect it to be, as awesome as Aspire, but it's awesome in a different way. It's easy to get people to use it.
Jack in the shop said, "Get a CO2 extinguisher that will not hurt the laser." Yes, the onboard extinguisher is water, right? So if it's injecting water into your laser at a high rate, that's basically using your air assist, it's gonna it's gonna ruin something. So needless to say, mine's never had water in it. I'd always been concerned that it was a false detection just for using laser. I'm always in the room, but we also see those people that are on Facebook. I know we've all saw it. A laser completely burnt, and they're like, "This manufacturer's horrible. Look at the bad products they make. I was making something. Look what happened." Like, no, you left the room. Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way. Like, no. Just didn't go up in the flame.
There's some things we trust to leave, very, very limited, but then most things we won't leave like at all. That accidents do happen.
Yeah, I mean, like a
print
UV
head
printer.
hitting your, that's all I'll say. Like literally, we were doing with the print head. My employee hit it and left, and he's seen me just lay something on there many times, like film, but I'm doing test prints, so there's not a lot of heavy ink on there to make it curl. Well, he pressed it and walked away, and then now our red doesn't work. So,
yeah, Chris said, "I like the fact that Lil Ricky interrupts, just like in every discussion ever." Speaking of the devil, look, he's right behind us.
That's funny.
Yeah, well, he's kind of the stereotype for a new user, right? Because he asks the innocent questions.
Yes.
Like, where's the power switch?
Right. And you're thinking someone else, Anuva's thinking that, but the kid is going to ask that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do have a story about somebody looking for the USB connector on a 3D printer, and it took a couple of people to find it.
Jack in the shop said, "I need AI me." Yeah.
Start playing with AI, and it'll just start creating you.
Yeah.
Chris said, "Are you sure it's really you, Rick?" I think if I was going to duplicate myself, I'd make it look a little better. Maybe the haircut would be freshly done.
Would you do that, or would you make it look worse so then people wouldn't question it? Like, man, Rick's looking rough.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. So Jackson, Rick, it sounds like there's something AIU would say. Yeah. Just like before, originally people were starting to, and it was just busting balls, I get it. But the CNC background when I'm at my wood shop was fake. And then when I switched up here because I was having issues in the basement, they thought this was fake. So I literally would touch stuff and move push buttons. Like, no, it's real. Steve does have a fancy background though. I do not. You want to take this one, Sean?
No, sorry, I was reading something. Anyone that thinks AI isn't already useful, use ChatGPT to learn a new program. Let's say Fusion 360. Get in a jam, feed it an image and question and work it out with you. Yes, if you use like an agent and let it do it for you, watch what it does. You don't just walk away. Like, that's the beauty of AI is they can call you stupid, whatever, but use it, watch what it does, and now you know how to do it if you're paying attention.
Yeah, or you just say, okay, screw that. I'm not going to learn it. I'll just get or ChatGPT to do it for me every time.
Yeah, or there's that route too, which is
I mean that's the thing, right? Where
you're freeing up time so you could do other stuff.
Well, so that's how I think about it. But there will be people saying AI is just designed to make us all dumber.
No, I at some point want to agree to this. Okay, and the reason that I say that is that as a kid, I must have had 75 phone numbers memorized. I knew addresses in my head to everyone's houses, right? This is before the GPS. This was before the cell phones, right? I don't even know my wife's cell phone number. That's horrible.
Yeah.
And I probably, just there's no need to,
Yeah, I struggle to remember my own phone number sometimes when people say, "Hey, what you're at a store or something and they want your phone number." It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I'll send you a text message. What's your phone number?
Yeah, so I kind of agreed. Like, and the only reason I say it's like muscle memory. Maybe you're using different areas of your brain, and that you're not refreshing your RAM, right? So as often as you used to. So at some point, I think it could be crippling us, but
Yeah, well, yes, but I can still remember the phone number we had when I was a kid, like when I was 5.
yeah,
Right? Because when you go to school, the one thing you have
Yep.
to do to pass kindergarten is to know your phone number, right?
and address
And your address.
yes, yeah.
So I still remember those, but I can't remember. If somebody tells me their phone number now, I've got no reason to remember it. Right? Just send me a text message.
The one thing I will say though, as far as AI in Google, and I actually like it in Google, I can ask a question like when I was troubleshooting the parameters on this on the rolling printer. Why is it doing this? And it literally tells me to go to this screen, this screen, this screen, change this, change this, change
Click
this.
this, click this, adjust that, do this.
But what it also did is on the bottom, it had sourced a YouTube video, a website. Like this is where it got the information from. But the good thing is in 5 seconds, I had to fix and I was up and running and I was going to. But since I did it myself, I was able to say, okay, well, what if I change this by this? What changes is that going to make? But
I learn new things whenever I'm doing it. It's like I didn't understand how that worked. You just explained that to me, and now it's like, oh crap! Now I understand how this works with that.
yes, but the downside to all of that, even though it was very helpful to me, that person's video, those websites didn't get any views.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you want to know why views are down for a lot of YouTubers, it's because of that, right? Like YouTube used to be, I mean, I don't know, I affectionately call it YouTube University, because if you want to learn anything, you can find it on YouTube, right? But that's not the case so much anymore. Now I can just have ChatGPT or Claude go watch that video for me, and it doesn't count as a view, right? So
You want to take this, Sean?
You can get an API key to tie AI to Fusion, make a prompt, and AI will create the model for you.
yes.
Did you know you probably don't even need Fusion if you just asked AI to do it?
Yes.
I'm just being honest with you. Like you don't even need Fusion if you just ask AI to do it and skip Fusion. Like I get my 3D print files all the time. I used to use Meshy and stuff like that, and now I just literally tell Claude make it and put it in a 3MF file. I have a perfect Bamboo Labs file with all the colors distributed right, perfect like settings, everything, all from and it did all that, and it does it quick, actually, a lot quicker than you would think. And it gives you all, like if you're trying to build something crazy, it gives you the build, the build plan, everything.
So let me ask you a question. When you're using AI to create these 3D files for the 3D printer, like typically what does that cost? Like, is it pennies on a dollar?
Pennies on a dollar. Yeah, it's not much like to do stuff like that. Like it's the stuff that's costing a lot right now is when you're doing actual agentic work, which is like having it go in there and do all this stuff for you. And that's
Automation.
That's why, yeah. I mean, kind of like I'll tell like, hey, something I need to work on. I work on like 10 tabs at once, and I do it really well. But I'm going in there like, hey, I need you to fill this out based on these parameters. Click, it's going on that browser. I switch to another browser and go to the next one, and do whatever. But I'm like a power user, but that's very, very minimal for the 3D, and it knocks it out quick.
And even the agentic stuff, I think that's going to become a commodity pretty soon. So
yeah,
like fairly quickly, right?
Even the images though, like the images don't cost you that, like they're not as expensive as you think. Like that's very, very small in the big scheme of things. The stuff that costs you a lot is when you start doing development and anything like that, and you're doing these really deep plans where I honestly have a prompt right now that's been going for, let me look, 32 hours it's been building. And so that's a day and a half already, and it's on stage 5 of 7.
Wow.
And so like, and then like if you keep too much in a big chat like that, the context starts messing up. And so you have to like, take it like, hey, I need you, or because every chat has a token memory kind of thing. And once you get to a limit, it's going to start slowing down and bogging down and being kind of crappy. You need to tell it to like continue that model or continue this chat in another model where, where you left off. And then it goes and frees up because they work like computers. Like each one's a computer. And so like you just need to go switch it to another computer now and finish it out.
Yeah, for the first couple of times I'd said you reached the max capacity of this, you have to create a new one.
Yeah.
Christian, I would say AI.
When that happens, though, switch it to a lower model, like because you're like it's going to take too much computing power. Switch it to a lower model and give me a full summary of what we did, because it doesn't need much to do that. So give me a full summary of what we did and what still needs to be done in this plan, and then it'll give you that without giving you that warning of like, oh hey, I can't do anything else because you're stuck on the higher model.
Right. Chris said I would say AI I would say AI is usable rather than useful by my standards.
It's a tool.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah. And
Just
it's
like that laser machine. It's just like, the printer is just another tool.
AI is only as good as your prompts. So, okay. Do you want to take this one, Sean?
Gemini is better than ChatGPT. I have both. Gemini is good at imaging. I use a lot of their stuff. It's really good at videos too. But overall, ChatGPT is better, in my opinion.
Yeah, ChatGPT and even more so Claude are good researchers.
Yeah, they're good. They're the ones you want to put your focus on.
Generate an image, right? Like it's that's not its thing.
So something that's good with Gemini though is the workspace. I will say that if you're already in the workspace.
Jack in the shop said I paid for a year. What is this? Mecca AI? Is that how you say it?
AI.
Magic AI.
Then I got 6 free accounts for ChatGPT. What is the point of having multiple accounts for the ChatGPT?
When you hit your limits.
Okay.
That's why I have multiple, just limits.
Okay. Brian, Big Sarge said I use ChatGPT to refine my prompts for OpenArt AI. I use ChatGPT to review all my emails and make sure I'm dyslexic, make sure I'm not being stupid, make sure you look more polished, professional, and to optimize any of my video descriptions, optimize any of my Facebook posts. That's what I use it for.
We had to go analyze our YouTube channel. Sorry to interrupt you, but we had to go through our YouTube channel, like one that, again, I'm horrible at my content, and it went through there and changed all the listings, redid the whole back end, did the SEO, and now all those videos that have literally been sitting there for months, man, some years, are now all getting views because it just changed stuff in the back end.
Nice. Yeah, I've not done that. Have it automated do that.
Right. Say optimize your entire, optimize this video or whatever. Go through all my videos and optimize all of them.
That's cool. Chris said AI has specialties. I find ChatGPT is better for data retrieval. Claude is better for creativity.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think if you define creativity as the source, like sourcing it, and get it to a point, and then you can actually hand that over to ChatGPT to do this actual research and data retrieval.
So Claude's going to give you more human-like responses. Like it's going to be more human-like compared to ChatGPT in the end.
Yeah.
And like if you're using it for posting, for writing and stuff, it's going to look more like a human wrote it compared to like ChatGPT most of the time.
Yeah. So if you're going to write one of those fake AI books, make sure you use Claude.
Yeah, I'm laughing because I see this comment. Jack in the shop said, no one wants to see my shorts. They keep telling me to keep my pants on. So he's only got those 30-second videos. But yeah. Tony said in the 70s we had 7%. In the 70s we had 7%. And then 3.2 in beer, and high school kids didn't get much of a buzz. Yeah.
It's kind of like inflation in reverse. Another 5 years, you guys will just have like water in a can.
Chris said, I don't memorize phone numbers anymore, but I remember my home phone was back on page 87 of the phone book. Yeah, I don't know all these phone numbers. I'm bad, it's horrible. Radu said you're showing your age by just knowing what a phone book is. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Steve brought up rotary phones the other past week, and probably people don't even know what that is. Chris said, just because I went to school with Noah, later built a arm.
Yeah, and if you're old enough, a rotary phone is called a 500 set.
There you go. All right, guys. It's Chris said I use all of them. I asked them to write a file manager like Clipper as more specs. Gemini has one that could be the first time usable program. You know what? I at the end of this video, we kind of brought up the AI, went down the deep dive in AI, and I think more and more people are accepting or not accepting and using, adapting, learning. And I think the biggest thing with AI is just adaptive learning, right? Like AI is only as good as your prompts. AI is a tool is only as good as you know how to use it. So I
The
think
more time you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it.
exactly. So I think it's definitely something we should bring up on a future live and maybe start off with that because we kind of ran into the end of the live and that went fast.
Man.
Yeah. So Sean, yeah, I thank you. Appreciate you joining, man.
Oh.
I definitely appreciate if you're able to join in the future. I think today went well.
Yeah, for sure. If anyone needs any AI advice, just let me know. I literally, like I say, sit here and do this all day for a living. That's kind of what I've turned my life into.
Nice. Very cool. Steve, you want to close us out?
I have nothing to add, really. I mean, busy as always. I'm actually working on the Lightmake L4 quad 3D printer. That's coming up. My Omnio 1 video goes live at midnight. So things are happening, just slower than I want them to.
Nice one. All right, guys. Thank you for joining. See you next week. Happy hump day. Enjoy the rest of the week. Friday's just around the corner.
Yeah, take care.
Take care, guys.